Welcome to Hochoka Podcast.
What happens when a beloved Lakota artist joins ranks with traditional tribal storytellers who use their wisdom and gifted voices to paint pictures of wonderful, magical animals and colorful birds on the walls of young people's minds? To borrow some words from Donald Montelot himself, this one is for all those children whose eyes dance in the firelight as he creates words and images that jump boldly from the pages of his books and into young imaginations. Hello, Matakiepi, and welcome to Hochoka, here at the center of St. Joseph's Indian Schools campus. I'm Scott Wooster, your Hochoka host. Today we are joined by Donald Montelot, an enrolled member of the Oglala Lakota Nation, award-winning artist, writer and illustrator of stories, and inductee in the South Dakota Hall of Fame. A warm Hochoka welcome to you, Don.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So we're very grateful to have you here on campus, and later today you'll be working with our librarian, Claire Naring, and you'll be working with our children here in the classroom. And so we'll get a chance to talk about that in a later episode. But right now we want to focus on you, who you are, and particularly the stories that you tell and that you illustrate. Because one thing that you do through your work is you teach, of course, but you also preserve some history for the younger generation about the culture, the history, the legends of the Lakota people. Specifically in your second book, Tashunka, a Lakota horse legend, you talk about Alex Whiteplume, who's from Oglala, and the 5 days that you spent on his ranch down near Pine Ridge and with 20 other people. Can you share that experience with our audience and just talk about how it might have inspired you and what you do?
Yeah. You know, Alex is really a cool guy. I mean, he's an elder, but he's also a very traditional man, and he knows a lot of things. And the one thing that Alex really shared with those people when they came onto his ranch, we rode horseback and we camped at night in teepees on his ranch. And it was really cool because they didn't know that we'd take one trail and it would circle around the Badland and come back on the other side of the Badland and come back to the same camp.
Yep.
They thought he was tearing down the camp and moving it each time we went. You know?
Yeah.
So, but at the evening time, Alex would tell stories. And as a traditional storyteller, it was ideally because it was about the end of October when we was doing this. So it really fit a storyteller's theme.
Yep.
And when I first approached Alex with the idea of writing a book with those stories, he was kind of set against it.
Okay.
Because he said traditionally, those stories are only told in the wintertime. And I said, but Alex, our people are now scattered all over the world because the military has scattered them, I said, and other things that they do has scattered them. And they don't have the opportunity to have you and I sit down in front of a campfire in the evening and share these stories.
Right.
And he kind of gave me an okay nod to do it, you know. So I wrote out the story, which I had heard from my ancestors too, from my aunts and uncles. I heard Tashunka, the legend of how we acquired the horse. But Alex, it just came bang, you know. It just really lit a fire that I wanted to do this. So I wrote the story and I illustrated how I wanted the story to be.
Yep.
I wanted each page to have a certain move to it, so it moved. Because traditionally our people are, everything we do, we don't have a written language. Our images tell stories. And so that's what I want this book to do too, the image, to be able to tell the story off the image itself.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted. And I took that back to Alex and I said, can you translate this into Lakota for me? And he said, well, I'd like to. He said, but I'm really wrapped up into the world court with the treaties, our treaties against the United States. And so he didn't have time. So I went and I found Agnes Gay,
Okay.
who has been a traditional. She spoke Lakota ever since she was a small child, very, very fluent. And so as you read the book, Tashunka, and my other book, Muskrat and Skunk, it's everyday Lakota. It's not nothing fancy. It's not the high ideals and everything like this. It's really easy to read this book. So that was the mainstay of this book. And then Alex never really fully accepted this book until it was all done.
Okay.
I got the whole hardcover book done.
Yeah.
And then Alex looked at it and he said, "Give me about 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks to come and just live with this book for a while."
Yeah.
And so after 2 weeks, I went back down to his ranch again. And I was talking to Alex again, and he says, "Maybe you're the one. Maybe you're the one." Mm-hmm. He says, "Sit down." And when an elder tells you to sit down, you sit down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so I sat down, and I was like, "Oh my God, am I big trouble here or what?" You know.
Right.
But he says, "I want to tell you about Muskrat and Skunk." And so that was my second book that Alex told me about.
Yeah.
And so, and as a story, and well, as first I'm an artist, and then I illustrate a lot of books for a lot of people, and then I did my own book. And time consuming is really, really hard. And I got a third book that I want to do about Iktomi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's going to be a fun book too. That's going to be a crazy book. And I think that'll be one that we'll have a lot of laughs with. But it's here, and it's actually probably, it could be all done, but I don't have the time to do it yet.
I absolutely love the origin story of your book, actually, too, because that's not an easy birth for that book and for that art to have, but it had, in the end, had the blessings of someone you respected and somebody that it must have been hard to go up to and ask to do this in the first place, for you to walk up and say, "Hey, would you like to collaborate on this book?"
Well, it took a lot of donuts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because every time I'd go see Alex down at his ranch, I'd take 24 donuts.
Oh, literal donuts. Yeah,
really,
okay,
really. And it was really crazy because he likes donuts, but then he has an extended family, which I didn't know about.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And every time I'd go down there, I don't know about Indian moccasins. You know, they always say the Indian telegraph is Indian moccasins.
Yeah.
You know? They would always show up.
Yeah.
About 10, 15 minutes after I got there.
Yeah.
And the donuts would be gone, you know.
Yeah.
And then so I think he loved donuts so much that's why he invited me back to his ranch so often, because he knew I had donuts, you know.
Loved them for himself.
Oh, yeah. But you know, that's traditional.
Yeah. It really is, yeah.
If you share food, that's one of the main things you do.
That's great. That's a great story.
Yeah.
Some of his Tekoja, his grandkids were here when I started here 30 years ago. I love the idea of thinking that some of the kids that I worked with, their kids or even grandkids now may have been eating those donuts as this book was born. Yeah. Can you hold that up?
Sure.
Just so our audience can see what that is, maybe to this camera right here, a little higher maybe. Mm-hmm. And it's a great book. So,
but it's really cool. It's because every page is illustrated with English and Lakota. Here's it. But my drawing is showcased over here. But the storyline tells about the horses themselves, and then with Agnes's Lakota underneath it. You know, it's. Agnes Gay is a real quiet lady. We read the story here at the Octa Lakota Museum. Agnes and I were both here, and we read this book to an audience.
Yep.
And Lakota is such a beautiful language. When she was reading, I forgot. My part was to read the English part. Yeah. And she got done with one page, and she was looking at me, and okay.
Yeah, I've got to do my part.
It's my part, you know, but... Yeah. I was so enthralled with this. It's just a musical language. It's just it's so great, and she's such a great spokesman for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. In preparing for this talk today, I was able to read Tatanka and the Lakota People, published in 2006, Tashunka, which we have here, 2014, correct? And let's see if I get it right. Shinkpe Namaha, a Lakota drum legend. Okay,
Yeah.
which is what we have here. And that was from 2017.
Yeah.
Each of them carry the side-by-side story in English and Lakota, right?
Right.
One thing that I think that comes through in these is in the way that you render them is it's a tender and a faithful way that you go about presenting those. Can you walk us through each of those stories just a little bit? Give us
Sure.
a thumbnail sketch.
Well,
And maybe you can hold the book as you talk. You don't have to hold it in the air, but just so we have an idea.
but Tashinka was really like inspired by that 5 days with Alex and with the people that themselves, and Alex as a storyteller really adds a lot of things to it because we just traditionally a storyteller always has another person with him. Mm-hmm. The other person with him makes the sound effects. So if you can imagine children after a good meal all sitting in a nice teepee with a little fire burning, and they got their buffalo robes on, and they're all snuggled in really nice and tight, and the storyteller is up there talking and telling them about the story.
Yeah.
And his voice itself is making highs and lows, and it's doing things. But the other storyteller is making the bird sounds and the wind and everything else. They're creating a play. They really are. They're creating this play. And they tell the children to close their eyes and imagine. So the children have this big screen, TV in front of them because it's their imagination is right there.
Yeah.
And to give colors, and you can as an author, you write those colors into their minds.
Yes.
You write brilliant reds and oranges and yellows, and these horses dance and they're on fire. So you really create this imagery that you want to just pound in these children themselves. And if you ever get an opportunity to listen to a good storyteller, he just takes you away.
Yeah.
They'll just take you away.
Yep.
And Alex, he's very good because he's bilingual. He talks Lakota fluently, but then English as well. He can just, he presents so many times to so many different people that he just does a great job for it. So, and as you tell today, my hands are everywhere.
Yeah.
But the storyline itself is how we acquired the horse eons ago. I mean, this was like 30 million years ago. We was on this planet, and scientists now have discovered that there actually were three-toed horses long time ago, but they weren't as big as they are currently. They were small, like a German Shepherd.
Okay.
But they were here, and they developed from a three-toed to a two-toed. And then if you go down to the School of Mines in Rapid City, they have a little three-toed horse there. And the Badlands, going to Rapid City, they actually have a two-toed horse there.
Okay.
And he's not very large. He's just, like I said, a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
But we ourselves were little people then, too. We weren't as big as we are currently. We were small people. And that's why the buffalo ate us when they was chowing on the grass. While we were little guys running and scurrying, trying to get away.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine this little animal and with this small guy on top of him, it gave him a lot more versatility in fighting and also in hunting. And so this horse became our rocket. Today, that transition from an old bio airplane, a single engine airplane, to a rocket jet, that was the transition that this horse gave us.
Okay.
And so I show in case how this hunter went out, found the horse, tamed the horse, bring it back to his people, and his people were very, very, very frightened of this horse because they didn't know what it was. But once they acquainted themselves with it, they really became the nomads of the plains. They really had a longer running range and hunting. But the The other thing that this book shows too is that they were bullies. They start bullying other people, and they start pushing them away. And the Great Spirit looked down and he says, "This isn't what I did. This isn't what I wanted the horse to do. This is something I wanted to benefit everybody by, not just one people." And so he took the horse away. And when he took the horse away, that's when the horse went over the land bridge over Europe.
Okay.
Totally took him away.
Yeah.
And so, hundreds of thousands of years later, a young warrior was walking on the plains, and he seen on the horizon something shining. And he didn't know what that was, but he went to investigate. And he looked, and through our legends that he had heard and our storytellers through the years, he knew that that was the horse. That was our horse coming back. But it was the conquistadors bringing our horse back.
Yep.
But we got our horse back.
Yeah.
And once again, we became the nomads of the plains.
Yeah.
So that's the book.
I love it. What a great story. And how about this one?
Oh, this is the fun one. This one, Muskrat and Skunk. I
can hold that for you too.
This one's about Muskrat. He's walking down an old creek bed, and he walks across a hollow log, and the hollow log goes thump, 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 And he loves that sound, and so he gets a stick, and he walks over to another hollow log, and he starts beating on it. And it's just sporadic. It's boom, boom, bam, bam, bang, bang, And a skunk is walking on the other side, and he's drawn to that sound. So he comes, and he starts listening, and he gets a stick. And all of a sudden, he starts pounding on the hollow log too. And pretty soon, they get a rhythm going. They get a sound going together. And it's going boom, 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 And it's drawing animals. First it draws the birds, and the birds get down, and they spread their wings, and they spread their feathers, and they're just bouncing to the rhythm of the drum and of the log. And the other animals join in. And all of a sudden there's this old bear. He's laying over in the bushes, and he's taking a nap, and they don't know it. And they wake him up, and he gets up, and he stretches out, and he hears that sound. And all the animals flee. They just take off and fly away. And all of a sudden the bear is trapped by that sound too. And he starts dancing. He stands upright and he's dancing. And all the animals get behind the bear, because that's the safest place to be, is behind a bear. You don't want to be in front of a bear. So they're all dancing. I mean, the elk, the deer, the coyotes, the rabbits, all of them, skunks, they're all in there dancing. And what that is, it's the first time a powwow was on the plains, because the drum and the skunk are dancing they're hitting the drum, and all the other animals are dancing, and they're dancing in a circle. And so this is the first time Mother Earth's heartbeat has come through the drum to our people.
Yeah, that's great. What a great story.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one?
This one right here, this is Tatanka, and what happened here was that all three of my books, the first one is not my book, it's just one that I illustrated, Tashunka, but the other two, so the three of them were all the same vein. They're all English and Lakota, but the South Dakota Humanities Association Council, they put these three books together, and they presented them to the second graders in 2019, to all the second graders in South Dakota. 10,000 second graders in South Dakota got this book. And you had to be a second grader to get the book.
Yep.
Nobody else got this book. It was not for sale. A couple teachers may have it.
Yeah.
If you weren't a second grader in 2019, you didn't get this book.
Okay, yeah.
And so it's a combination. They did an excellent job. They just did an excellent job of the three books, So that was an honor, because I got to present and read in front of 2,000 second graders in Rapid City at their big auditorium at the school. And my wife was in the center of the kids when they all came in, because she usually does my my PowerPoint and presentations, and she was about going crazy there because all these children were going, they're all jabbering and everything. But the principal walked in and she went, in the quiet, just total quiet. And so Daryl Red Cloud and myself, Daryl Red Cloud read the Lakota part, and I read the English part. So we did the dual language.
And they hung on every word.
Oh, God, yeah. They were there.
2,000.
2,000.
Second graders.
Yeah. And then I got to present up in Lead at the Opera House and then at Whitewood School, and all second graders. And then I got down to Red Cloud, and I presented down there to the second and third graders. And it was really cool because we all stood together, and I was in back of them. Of course, I was towering over them. And I said, okay, everybody hold up their books. And they all went like this, and they totally blocked me
you
out.
out of the whole thing, yeah.
But at the end, they said they wanted to give me something. They wanted to give me a gift. And traditionally, you get a star quilt, for something. And I thought, oh, no, I don't. I wanted the star quilt, but, it was the little guys, and I thought that's a hard thing for them.
Right.
And they said, we want to give you an honoring song. And that was the coolest thing in the world, man, because they had read Tashunka too, they had read Muskrat and Skunk as well.
Yeah.
So they knew the drum.
Yeah.
They knew the legend of the drum. And to hear my Lakota name, which is Zinkala Z, Yellowbird, in honoring song, I mean, that was the best.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm gonna play sort of a game of rapid fire. It's something we do on here from time to time. I'm going to ask you some questions and just give me a brief sketch of what these mean to you. So a lot of your work is referred to, or your art is referred to as ledger art. How did ledger art come to be?
Well, when the buffalo were annihilated from the plains, our people didn't have a written language, so they had to figure out a new way to put pictures down so they could tell about. And they turned to traders and storekeepers and soldiers and bartered for their ledger books, which were of no use to them anymore because they were all filled up with writing. But writing meant nothing to our people. And so we just drew our drawings right on top of those. And that's how ledger art actually came, probably about 1860 to about 1930.
What is the meaning of right to left with your horses? What does that mean to you?
Well, usually, like, my mentor was Herman Redout, and he showed me how to do everything about ledgers and how to present them and everything. And usually, when you're showcasing a horse and a warrior on top, the warrior usually holds his shield in his left arm.
Okay.
And so that's why my horses run the way they do, because the shield is basically like a coat of arms.
Yeah.
And so that presents who that warrior is. And so that's why my horses basically run that way.
Because to the reader, it's visually obvious. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Why do your horses fly?
Again, Herman Redout and I, we had a lot of time together, and we were setting out having a smoke one day by the Sioux Indian Museum where we both worked together. And he was telling me a story, and he says, typically, the warriors would look for a knoll, a rise in the ground so they could run down on top of their enemy. And he says, and prior to that time, he said, they always had a little pouch underneath the horse's chin. And in that pouch was different herbs and spices. And just as they were coming off the top of that hill, they'd pull that pouch into their horse's mouth, and it would give that horse a burst of energy and speed. And he said, and they would just fly down those hills.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said fly down those hills, my horses never lope or gallop anymore. My horses fly.
They were cruising.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. What is your Lakota name, and what's the significance to you? How did it come to be?
Well, I have two great artists that have given me my name, and that one is Oscar Howe, and one is Herman Redout. And when I was at a workshop with Oscar Howe one time, they said, Montlo is a good French name, but it's not a good, strong Lakota name. And so they said, we have been comparing notes over the winter, and we have decided that we're going to give you the name Yellowbird because you're like a little yellowbird. You're everywhere. You're into everything. And you're going in a good direction, but you're just going that way. So your Lakota name is going to be Zinkala Z,
Okay.
Yellowbird.
Yeah. And how old were you when you got that name?
Probably about 17.
Oh, okay. You were a young fellow when you got
I was
that.
awful
Wow.
young. Yeah.
What an honor that must have been. How did that make you feel?
Oh God! By those two guys,
Yeah, right.
That was like Superman and Batman
Yeah.
giving a little bitty guy something.
Yeah.
You know,
It was everything.
oh God, yes.
Yeah. What is, and this is a big question, what's the sweet spot of your being?
The sweet spot is probably giving back. I always like to circle back because I'm from Kyle, South Dakota. When Mom and Dad and I'm the only child, when we left there, I think the population's probably about 223, and when we left it was 220.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I go back now. I circle back, and I always like to give back to my children. And today, at Lakota, that's my sweet spot.
Yeah.
When you see me today doing what I do, that's the love of my life. That's what the Great Spirit gave me to give to them.
Yeah. Well, we're honored to have you share that sweet spot with us for sure here in Ho-Chokeh today, but also with our Wakayesha, with these sacred children today. We're honored to have you on our campus, you and your wife, and come back anytime.
Great.
It's great
Let's
to
say
see you.
yes.
Wopila.
Oh.
And to our viewers, we also want to say thank you for joining us here at Ho-Chokeh at the center of St. Joseph's Indian Schools campus, where we talk about issues that are central to Native American education today. Until next time, stay centered.